stretching. But when we stretch, we want to make sure that we have the integrity of the core so nothing gets pulled. Begin by lying on your back in constructive rest pose. Taking a moment to settle. Feel your feet. Make sure that you're not tipping to the outside of the feet, but you have the ball of the big toe evenly balanced with the ball of the little toe. Notice the middle of the heel. Each foot will be different, so examine each one separately. Let your pelvis sink down into the floor, and as you do that, soften the front of the hips. Relax and soften the sacrum across the back. Relax the belly muscles. If it feels really tight and it's hard to even lie here, you can tilt your pelvis a couple times or even hug your knees into your chest if you need to. Make it so that you can be comfortable as we come into this initial constructive rest pose. Feel the muscles along the spine relax, the rib cage soften down, shoulder blades broaden, shoulders relax. Relax the arms, the hands. Soften the fingers. Check the neck. Make it comfortable. If you want, you can roll it side to side a couple times. Feel free to have something behind your head at this point also. So the back of the neck is lengthened, the throat is soft. Relax the jaw, the temples, the forehead. And be aware of the whole back of the body. Wherever you're touching the floor, sink in and take the support of the floor. I want to pay extra attention today to the transversus. That deepest level of the abdominals, it wraps all the way around. The transversus interdigitates with some of the spinal muscles, so it really comes all the way around and protects you like a big belt. It's really broad. All the fibers are horizontal, and wherever you don't have bones in the torso, you have these horizontal fibers that you can access. So think of this big, broad, supportive belt that comes horizontally around the body from the spine. Now it's deep, so I want you to place your hands on your waist and go inside a few layers. As you picture that belt, think of it inside a couple layers. There are 2 layers of obliques outside of the belt. So feel the waist soften. And then as you exhale and imagine that belt coming snug around you from the back to the front, see if you can keep the waist soft as you do that engagement. So if you feel a lot of tension, tone coming into the waist, back off a little bit. Those are the obliques. You can go deeper, make it more subtle. Think of sneaking underneath the waist muscles and pulling that belt around snug. And then relax it. These muscles are key for stabilizing our lower back, for protecting our sacrum. They're also respiration muscles. So they really help us maintain our structural integrity, no matter what position we're in. And do that again. Keep the waist as soft as you can, and as you exhale, gently pull that belt snug. Start at the spine and come around. Imagine the belt coming below the belly button. So we have those low fibers. And then relax, soften. Do it one more time like that. Keep it deep and subtle, and come all the way around the torso. And then soften that. Now we can use it in any position. We're going to work with flat back a bit today. So let's try tilting the pelvis to flatten the back down, and then do the belt again. So it's going to stay deep. You might feel a little tone in your waist because of this flattening of the back, but try not to increase it. Keep that belt wrapping nicely, and with your exhale, subtly pull it across the front and buckle it. Nice and snug across the hips. And then relax, but keep your pelvic tilt. And then pull the belt around again. It encircles your whole torso. And release. Thinking of the horizontal bands is really effective. One more time. Gather that belt around on the horizontal. And then relax. So we're going to go back to neutral. Arms down at the sides. We'll inhale the arms to the ceiling. Take the arms in this vertical position for a moment. With your exhale, gather the pelvic floor and then pull the belt snug around your neutral spine. Stay there while you inhale, keeping the inner core engaged. And then maintaining your neutral, exhale your arms back towards the wall behind you. For now, soften the elbows and the shoulders. They can bend. And then float the arms up to the ceiling. And then lower the arms down. We're going to stay on our neutral the whole time. Once again, inhale, bring the arms up to vertical. And with the exhale, engage the pelvic floor. Feel the belt come around snug and reach back. Go ahead and bend the elbows, but really concentrate on the belt, staying snug around the hips the whole time. Inhale the arms up, easy in the shoulders. And then with the exhale, lower the arms down to the sides. Okay, we're going to bring the hands behind the head. Elbows out wide. Inhale and feel your ribs flare. Concentrating on your ribs now. Exhale, pull the front ribs together and imagine each rib going down on a diagonal to the opposite back pocket. So you're making an X over your front, and then inhale, relax that. Bring your attention to your back ribs, and on the exhale, reach your back ribs down into the mat. Try not to flatten the lower back, just bring the back ribs down. And then relax that. Feel your ribs flare. And exhale, cross the front ribs down to the opposite back pockets. And relax that. Attention to the back ribs. And with the exhale, reach those back ribs down into the mat. Don't flatten the lower back, just reach the back ribs down. And then relax. Now we're going to put those two together. Inhale, feel the ribs flare. Exhale, unflare the front ribs. Imprint the back ribs. We're still having a neutral spine. Stay in inhale. Add your transversus, add your belt, and then lift up with a neutral spine. Your back ribs are imprinted, but your lower back's in neutral. And inhale, come back down. We'll do that again. Exhale, neutral spine, ribs knitting and imprinting, and come up. Let's do that one more time. Really feel what this is like. Back ribs are down, neutral spine's in place, pelvis is steady. And then relax and release. Let your elbows open out wide, your ribs flare. Let it all go for a moment. Then we're going to do the same thing, but with a flattened back. I want you to first engage your belt, then tilt your pelvis, flattening the back down. Then imprint the back ribs. Pull the front ribs down to the opposite back pockets. Keep your back flat, and exhale into a little head lift. Not coming too high. We still want to feel the back ribs really firmly on the mat. Now when you come down, keep your flat back. Keep tilting the pelvis, and lift again. Flat back, back ribs down. Still aware that your belt is coming around on the horizontal. One more time. Lift with a flat back. And then release. Now relax everything. We're going to bring the arms up to the ceiling and soften the shoulders. We're going to try an alternate leg lift with a neutral spine. Engage the inner core. Wrap your belt around. Knit and imprint your ribs. Your lower back is still in neutral. Pelvis very steady as you float the right foot up. And lower it back down. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And then the left foot up. Keep steady. And lower it back down. Let's do one more with each leg in the neutral. And lower. And lift the left. And lower. And relax in neutral. Now we're going to go to a flat back. Engage the pelvic floor, tilt the pelvis, wrap your belt around, knit and imprint your ribs. Keep your back flat and lift the right foot up. And then here's the more challenging part. keep your back flat as you lower down. You have to keep imprinting and pulling your pubic bone to your belly button. And then keep the back flat as you shift to the left side and lower. The back is still flat as the foot comes down. Feel your belly button actually scooping into your spine, but don't forget about your belt coming around. And lower. And one more time like that, back flat. And lower down. Now I'm going to pause and relax, so let yourself go back to neutral and lower your arms down to your sides. Relax a moment in constructive rest. I'm going to stretch the shoulders a bit. Bring your thumbs into hitchhiker position with your arms remaining straight. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Engage your inner core. Wrap the belt around. Imprint the back ribs without flattening your back. Straight arms go back. Do not bend at your elbow and your wrist. Notice if you can get your thumb down, but don't bend at your wrist in order to do it. Keep your back ribs imprinting and bring the arms back up. We're going to stop here in neutral. Engage the inner core. Flatten the lower back in addition to knitting and imprinting the ribs. Feel your belt. And then let's see if we can reach back with the back staying flat. Keep the arms straight, the lower back pressed down. This is going to change things a little bit. Keep the back ribs imprinting and then come back up. And release to neutral. Lower your arms down to your sides. Now that might be enough stretch for your shoulders. If so, you're going to do the same thing again. We're going to tuck the thumbs into the fist now, if you could get your thumbs down. If not, you're sticking your thumbs out like a hitchhiker. Keeping your neutral spine. Inhale the arms to the ceiling. Arms are perfectly straight. Inner core, we're going to go back with the ribs knitting and imprinting. Neutral spine. Feeling the stretch in the shoulders. Pull your ribs down. Make sure you keep the back ribs down or you're going to defeat the shoulder stretch. And then come back up. We're going to keep the arms up in vertical. Flatten the back. And then do the same thing again. Keep the arms straight. The back ribs down. The belly button scooping into the spine so the back ribs, the lower back is flat. And then come back up. And then relax down into neutral. Now you may be repeating that one again. If you didn't get your fist down, please do the same position. If you got your fist down, flatten your palm down into the floor. Everybody, neutral spine, arms up straight. Straight elbows, wrists, straight fingers if your palms are open. With the neutral spine, find your belt, imprint the back ribs and reach back. This is a really good stretch for the shoulders, but you got to keep your back ribs down. Okay. Keep the arms straight. Even if you don't touch the floor, keep them straight. And then come back up. We're going to stop in vertical. Re-engage the inner core. Make sure we're wrapping the belt around. Tilt the pelvis, imprint the ribs, and then with the arms straight, reach back again. Keep the arms straight, even if you don't get down to the mat. Fingers straight. Don't let your wrists bend back. Keep those back ribs down. Keep the lower back down and stay as you breathe. We're flattening the back, knitting and imprinting the ribs, wrapping the belt around, breathing into the stretch in the shoulders. Also stretching the back of the neck if you keep your chin down. Now keep your flat back and bring the arms to the ceiling. And then relax to neutral as you bring your arms down. And give into gravity. Soften for a moment there. We're going to find our inner core again, pelvic floor, find the belt, tilt the pelvis, imprint the back ribs, keep the lower back flat, and lift the right foot up. And keep the back flat, lift the left foot up. We're going to flatten the back down as we do pistons. So I want you not to go all the way to the floor. Almost probably all of you don't go all the way to the floor, but keep your back ribs down and your lower back flat. And come back up. If you find that you can keep the angle at the hip or the angle at the knee constant and the back ribs down and the back flat, then you can start to reach towards the floor. But don't sacrifice, especially those back ribs imprinting. One more set. arms to the ceiling, passive shoulders. Re-engage with your inner core. Draw that belt snug without using your arms. Pull the knees into the chest. Relax the shoulders. Your back is flat. Fold the knees deeply. Keep dropping the shoulders. And we're going to do some knee circles. Arms are in vertical. Knees are drawn in. And then roll them around. Imprint the back ribs. Make one circle. Make sure your arms are really still. Your shoulders are dropped. Circle all the way around. Tuck into the center. And then reverse. Feel your back ribs. Keep them down. All the movement below the waist. This is not really a stretch. We're going to get some good twisting stretches later. This is a strength exercise. So keep the back ribs down, keep the shoulders relaxed, and then reverse. We're going to go one more time each direction. Take it nice and slow. Now, one hand on each knee. We're going to flop the knees out wide. Relax. Pelvis can be a little bit mobile here. We're going to start stirring the legs around, the hip circles, nice and loose in the hip socket. Pelvis may be rolling a little bit. That's fine. Keep the legs passive and reverse the circles. We're going to be working with the hips a little bit, so I want to let them get a chance to relax before we use them in the next exercise. Okay, knees coming into the chest. Flat back. Feel your back flat. I'm going to bring the arms down to the sides. Extend the legs out a little bit and then open the knees wide. Now your back is flat. The feet are touching, the knees are wide. Make sure your back stays down. In fact, feel free to put your hands on your pelvis and your ribs. And then you're going to circle like a unicycle, keeping the feet together, the knees wide, the back flat. So keep that pelvis steady. Keep the lower back pressing down, circling around, and then reverse. Now I'm going to put one hand on each knee, out of sync knee hip circles. So really floppy. Let your pelvis stabilize, and then stir the other way. And then we're going to stretch the knees wide towards the armpits. Your lower back is flat. The hands on the knees. If that's enough stretch for you, stay there. Or if you want to deepen it, you can reach inside your legs and hold the bottoms of the feet. The knees are moving out wide. The lower back is flat. Whenever you find a stretch, the more intense it is, the more slowly you want to breathe. But always make sure you're not pushing beyond a point where you can breathe. Nice, smooth, slow breaths. Now we're going to bring the knees together. You can use your hands on the knees, pull them into the chest, relax the feet. Relax the work in the belly for a moment. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. And we're going to do a really classic 100 this morning. We'll bring the arms down to the sides. With the back flat, engage the inner core, then scoop your belly in and press the back ribs down, imprint the front ribs. We're going to reach the legs up, almost up to vertical. Draw your chin into your chest, lift your head, and then externally rotate the legs so that your heels are together, your toes are pointed out. And we're going to lower the legs down just a few degrees so that you really feel your lower back flat. And we'll start here. Exhale for 5 pulses. And inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. And inhale. Keep the back flat. Exhale. And inhale. Keep flattening the back, dropping the shoulders. Exhale for 5. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Now if you want a challenge, keep the back flat and lower the legs a few degrees down with your exhale. And lift them back up with the inhale. No movement in the lower back or pelvis. Exhale down and inhale up. Or just stay up or even bend your knees. Exhale. Keep the belly scooped in and inhale. One more time. Exhale. And inhale. Bend the knees. Put the head down and flop the knees around. Relaxed in the hip sockets. Relaxed around the pelvis. Reverse. And bring the knees to the chest. And rock a little side to side. Give the sacrum massage. And then feel the belly button scooping to the spine, the lower back flat. And bring one foot down with the lower back staying flat. And the other foot down with the lower back staying flat. And then relax. You come to neutral, you're going to feel the shift in the position of the spine and the pelvis. Take a moment there. Now we're going to work with the rolling pelvic lift and add some shoulder stretches. So please take, if you have something behind your head, please take that out. Want the head flat on the floor, the chin drawn in towards the notch of the neck, arms comfortably at the sides. Start with the inner core, pelvic floor, wrap the belt, tilt the pelvis. Now your lower back is flat. Take the moment to concentrate on the ribs pulling to the back pockets and imprinting, then press into the feet. Remember, evenly press on the feet. Don't roll to the little toe side of the foot. Come all the way up, lengthen the back of the neck, and then roll yourself down. Concentrate on the back ribs. Each vertebra in the upper back, the mid back, and then into the lower back. Keep scooping the belly all the way down. Relax to neutral. We're going to do it like that one more time. Start with the pelvic floor, the belt, the tilt, the imprint and flare, and then lift. Stay even on the feet. As you lift, feel the length at the back of the neck, length at the front of the thighs, and then roll down. Knit and imprint the ribs one vertebra at a time. Keep scooping the belly button in one vertebra at a time to the lower back and release the pelvis. Now that is going to stay the same, but we're going to add an arm. We'll inhale, take the hips and the right arm up. So we're rolling through the spine, stretching the right arm all the way up and back. And as we come down, leave your arm there and draw your back ribs in, scoop the belly button, keep the arm back there, roll through the lower spine, all the way down, release, and then relax the right arm down to the side. Same thing with the left side. Engage the core, tilt the pelvis, knit and imprint, roll yourself up into the pelvic lift as you raise the left arm this time. All the way up, make sure the back of the neck is long. And then reconnect, keep your left arm back and roll down. Back ribs down, you're scooping the belly the whole time, one vertebra at a time. Keep your chin down towards the notch of the neck. Stretch all the way down the length of the spine. Relax. And then lower the left arm down to the side. Once again, like that with each arm. Inner core, pelvis is tilted. Roll up, raise the right arm, come all the way up and back. Lengthen the back of the neck, press evenly into the feet. Feel the ball of the big toe and stretch up so your front thighs are really getting a stretch. Leave your arm there and roll down through the spine. Chin stays down. Roll one vertebra at a time, releasing. And then soften the right arm down to your side. And we'll do the same with the left. Inner core is always first. Tilt the pelvis, knit and imprint. Roll through the spine as the left arm comes up and back. Lengthen the back of the neck. Lengthen the front of the thighs. Keep your arm there. Roll down. the left arm down. Do one more with a slightly different variation. Prepare the core, roll up, lift the right arm. Now as we come down this time, we're going to lower the right arm and turn the face over to the left. So you're stretching your neck as you come down, lower your hips, your right arm, and turn and look out over your left shoulder. And pause a moment there. And then inhale the head to the center. Roll yourself up. Good strong engagement, the whole core working to support you as you raise your hips and your left arm up. And as you come down one vertebra at a time, turn your head and look out over the right shoulder. Lower the arm, roll down and look to the right. And then pause a moment there, looking to the right. And then head back into the center. Find the core, tilt the pelvis and imprint. We're going to lift the right knee into the chest. Use both hands on the knee. Pull the right knee to the breastbone. Really connect pubic bone to belly button. Keep scooping the navel into the spine and straighten your left leg away from you. Just push the heel away on the floor. You're still tilting the pelvis, flattening the lower back as you stretch the left front leg. Take a moment there. Now we're going to keep the back flat. I'm going to bring your left leg into parallel. If it's rolled out to the side, bring it to parallel so your knee is pointing straight up towards the ceiling. We're scooping the belly in, keeping the back of the neck long. Use something behind your head if necessary. Back stays flat. Right leg up to the ceiling. Flex your foot back and point your toes to the ceiling. And flex and point, flex and point. Back stays flat. Once you put your hands on your pelvis, feel that flat back position. Circle the right leg 5 times. Nice and long stretch in the hamstring. Don't sacrifice your stability though. 5 times one way. Belly button stays scooping in. Pelvis is completely steady. When you're done with 5, bend your right knee. Use your left knee, pull over towards the left side. Nice and slow. You don't have to go too far. We're going to do some twisting later, so let this be your initial foray into the stretch, letting the hip open gently and the lower back stretch. We did a lot of work with the shoulders, so you can leave the arm down a little bit and focus on the lower body for now. Then we're going to return to the back, right knee into the chest, flatten the lower back, keep it flat, drag your left heel in, keep it flat, and pull the left knee all the way in. Both knees into the chest, one hand on each knee. Scoop the belly in, connect pubic bone to spine, and lower your right foot down. Keep flattening, keep flattening, keep flattening. And straighten the right leg out along the floor. We're still in the flat back, belly button scooping in. Take a moment, pulling the left knee in, keeping the back flat. Extend the left leg up, support your leg and flex the foot and point the toes. Check that the right leg is in parallel, not rolled out to the side. Point the toes of the left foot, flex and point. We're going to keep our point, keep the pelvis steady. Lower back flat for 5 circles. Keep pulling the navel towards the spine. Check, no tension in the neck and shoulders. That's not going to help you. And then reverse. We still have the belt across the hips. And then we're going to bend the left knee. Use your right hand. And slowly start to pull the left knee towards the floor and the right. Again, go easy with this first twist. You can take the tension out of the left shoulder by bringing your arm down a little bit. Just feel where it's good for you to go. then we return to the back. Consciously flatten the back. Pull the left knee into the breastbone. Keep the belly scooped in. Slide the right heel in. And keep flattening the back and bring the right knee into the chest. And pause and hold the knees there for a moment. And then we lower with a flat back. Left foot down, keeping the flat back. Right foot down, keep the flat back. And then relax to neutral. Okay, we'll turn to the stomach. Hands under the forehead. Small back bend here. Stack the hands. Separate the legs a little bit. Gauge the inner core. Knit the ribs together. Keep the hands on the floor. Use your exhale. Simply raise the chest and head up a little bit. Keep the elbows down. Draw the shoulders down the back. Let the breastbone open. Try not to crane the neck, but keep the chin down. And then release. Forehead back down. Let everything relax. Connect with the inner core again. Feel the belt. Knit the ribs. Keep the arms down and lift the chest and head. Draw the shoulders down the back. This time try tucking your tail between your legs a little bit and drawing the shoulders down the back. Press gently down into your elbows. And then relax. Forehead back down. Everything softens. One more time. Inner core, knit the ribs, press gently down into the elbows, raise the breastbone, draw the shoulders down the back, tuck the tail between the legs, open the chest a little farther forward without craning the neck. And release back down. Come to all fours, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale the chest forward and exhale. Tuck your tail under, bend your elbows, drop your head. Stretch back. Feel the stretch mainly in the lower back. And again, up on the inhale. Pull the chest forward, but stay connected. You don't have to let everything go just because you inhale. Exhale. Inner core, tuck the tail. Bend the elbows, move back. Stretch the lower back. And do it one more time. Keep your hips back for a moment. Relax in the child's pose. Let the back open with the breath in. Now relax the shoulders on the breath out. Okay, when it comes to lie on the left side, please have your blanket or towel handy. We're not going to use it immediately, unless you use it underneath your head as we do the side kicks. So you can, of course, put the pillow underneath your head, both arms forward here if that's better for your neck, or arm extended, blanket between your arm and your ear. Make the neck and shoulders comfortable. Straighten both legs out and bring the feet a little forward up the hips. So take a moment to arrive here. Relax the left side of the body. Check that your neck is comfortable. We're going to find the pelvic floor here and then wrap the belt. It's low here. If your hands are on your waist, and try to wrap the belt without engaging the waist. Then take an organ lift. Lift your organs up off of the floor. Now you're going to feel the waist really activate, and even more so as you lift both legs up. Your fingertips can be on the mat. If that gives you less tension, keep the fingertips down. Up and down 5 times with the top leg. And then down and up 5 times with the bottom leg. Squeeze the inner thighs. Check your organ lift. Feel your belt still there. Forward and back 5 times. We don't want any movement in the pelvis or the ribs here. Just let the legs forward and back. You can check keeping the hips and the ribs in a constant relationship to each other. And we're coming to the center for the circles. You can place that bottom leg down if you prefer. Not too much tension in the neck and shoulders. So make sure that you're not adding excess tension. Reverse 5 circles the other way. And then we're going to work the feet. Squeeze the inner thighs together and flex the feet back. Squeeze the toes, point the toes, fan the toes out wide and flex back. Squeeze, point, fan, flex, squeeze, point, fan, flex. Your toes should be apart as you reach across the room, then squeeze your toes and pull back like you're grabbing something. Open the toes, reach, squeeze, grab, and come back one more time. Lower both legs down, relax. Then we're going to take the clamshells. We're going to keep the thighs as they are and just bend at the knees. So we're in a hip extension with the knees bent behind. Engage the inner core. Feel your belt. Feel your organ lift. Let's do 10 rotations of the top leg. Keep the pelvis steady. We want the right hip pressing forward the whole time. Pelvis steady. The work's in the right buttock. And you have all your core working to stabilize. When you're done with 10, relax. And then bend the knees. So you have the knees at the front of the mat. Your feet are still back a little bit underneath you. Roll the pelvis forward. We'd like the knees to be stacked here. Find your inner core, but soften around the waist now. We're dropping the obliques and just using the transversus 10 times. Rotate the top leg out in the socket. Keep the right hip moving forward. Really think about those horizontal strands of the transversus stabilizing. When you're done with 10, let everything relax. Sink down into the floor. And then bend the knees a little bit more deeply so you've got 90-degree flexion at the hip, knees and feet at the front of the mat. Stack the knees and hips up. You're going to need to roll your right hip forward a little bit. Relax the waist. Engage your transversus, belt around the hips 10 times. Roll the thigh out in the socket. The right foot stays down, the knee lifts. We're just externally rotating and stabilizing. Neck and shoulders easy. You're done with those 10. Now we're going to get the blanket. So you can move your knees a little bit farther away from the head if that's more comfortable. Take the blanket. I'm going to put it underneath the head. And both arms should be stretching forward. So we're going to stack the knees exactly one on top of the other and stack the hands, palms touching one on top of the other. Feel your belt. Really key here, we want to keep the pelvis still and the knees stacked. We're going to start stretching the shoulders without moving the hips. This is not a spinal twist yet. I'm going to take the right arm and actually let's just really focus on that belt for a moment. You feel really nice and snug around the hips. And then take the right hand and start to reach it up overhead, taking an arc. It can be a few inches off of the floor, not too high to the ceiling, but a comfortable range of motion there. So reach up overhead and reconnect with your belt. Open the shoulders a little bit and breathe into the chest, but don't let your knees displace back. That's going to be your focal point so your hips don't displace back. And then release the right hand back down so that it's stacked on top of the left. And we'll do that again. Make sure your belt is really snug. And drag the right fingertips along the floor or close to the floor and stretch up until you have a good stretch in the shoulder, but don't let the right knees displace. Good, and breathe in there. And then release back down. Stack the hands, stack the knees, stack the hips. Support with the transverses. Do that once again. Sweep up. Big stretch in the shoulder and armpit. Keep the knees stacked and breathe there. Now we're going to keep the belt going, but allow the twist to develop. So you're going to keep the belt snug, but you can start to roll so your knees displace. Some of you will want to take your blanket out now. And you're going to open out into a twist. It's okay if the knees are displaced now, but I still want you to think of your belt being in place. Find a comfortable place to stretch there and breathe into the stretch. We still have the belt in place. Every time you exhale is a great time to renew that gathering of the belt around the hips. Now we're going to bring the right knee a little bit higher so that it can fall onto the floor in front of the left leg, and gently bring the left hand onto the right knee. Adjust your right shoulder if you need to, feeling the stretch a little more deeply in the hip. Now you may remain there, or if you want to go one step further, we're going to straighten the right leg out. Everybody, gather that belt snug around your hips, then straighten the right leg out if you want. Hold the foot or the leg, and we're going to breathe here, aware with every exhale that we're pulling the belt snug around the hips. You can try pushing your right foot away from you, your right hip away from your right hand. Gather your belt snug. Again, it's okay if your right knee is bent with the knee working towards the floor. If it's comfortable, of course you can turn your head to the right. And then please, if your leg is straight, bend it. Release the right arm down a little bit. Turn the head to the center. Bring both knees back into the center. Take a moment there. One hand to each knee. Let the lower back go flat. Lengthen the back of the neck. You can rock the knees in and out or side to side. Feel what your body wants. Check that the neck is relaxed. And then we're going to bring the feet down to the floor for a moment. Just take a pause in neutral. Then we have that whole series to do on the other side. So we're going to come over to the right side. Be sure you have your blanket handy. And you can use it right off the bat here if you want, or save it till we get to that shoulder stretch. We're going to lie straight out on the right side, legs extended, feet a little forward of the hips, top hip forward, top hand on the top waist or fingertips on the mat. Let everything relax. Neck and shoulders comfortable. Find your inner core. Make contact with that belt across your hips. Lift your organs up towards the ceiling. Feel the waist engaged now, and then lift both legs up. And then we begin from here. 5 times lift and lower the top leg. And then 5 times lower and lift the bottom leg. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Check your belt and your organ lift, and then forward and back with the legs. Pelvis is still, ribs are still, just the legs moving. Takes a lot of inner core. When you're done there, squeeze the legs together. Bottom leg can go down if you like. Relax the neck. Circle the top leg 5 times. You're lifting your organs up. Stabilize the pelvis. Reverse the circles. And squeeze the inner thighs together. Relax the neck and shoulders. Flex the feet. Squeeze the toes. Point the toes. Fan the toes and flex back. Squeeze. Point. Fan, flex, squeeze, point, And flex, open the toes and reach, squeeze the toes and pull back. Open, reach, squeeze, and retract. One more time. And then lower the legs down. Easy in the neck and shoulders. Keep the thighs as they are. Bend the knees. Feet are behind you. Inner core, organ lift, steady around the pelvis. 10 external rotations of the left leg. Neck and shoulders relaxed. Work low in the body. When you're done with 10, you relax. And bend the knees so that the knees are in front of you, the feet are underneath you. Soften. Want to feel the waist soften here. We're releasing the work of the obliques. Attention around the hips. Belt snug across the hips. 10 rotations here. Push your left hip forward. 10 total here. And when you're done, everything relaxes. And then find the 90-degree flexion at the hips, knees, and feet at the front of the mat. Continue to bring the left hip forward, stack the knees, relax in the waist, engage the belt. 10 repetitions here. And relax when you're done. And now we'll take the blanket. You can adjust the knees back away from the head a little bit. Put the blanket underneath your head. Stack your knees, stack your hips, stack your hands. We're going to keep the knees and the hips stacked for the first couple arc sweeps. Feel your belt snug around your hips. Keep the knees and the hips absolutely still. Drag the left fingertips up. The hand can lift a few inches off the floor. Keep your knees and hips stacked and stretch the shoulder. And when you exhale, think about your belt coming around the hips. And then release the arm back down. Stack the hands. Just check you're still stacked in the lower body. Find your belt. Keep the belt snug, the hips and the knees stacked, and reach the left arm up again. Big stretch in the shoulder. We're not going to a spinal twist yet. Extending the left arm up. And release the hand back down. Stack everything up. And keep the stack. Feel the belt snug around the hips. And reach up with the left arm. Keep the stack. Keep the belt engaged, nice and snug. Now, feel your belt, and we're going to keep it engaged as we start to open into the twist. Don't let your belt go, even though you're letting the stacking go. You can remove the blanket if you like. Keep your belt snug and open the left arm out. Good. We're going to take a moment here, adjusting that feeling of the belt still being engaged, even though we've just placed the knees and the hips. Every exhale, you're pulling your belt snug around your hips, your sacrum, let it buckle beneath the belly button. And keep the belt snug. Bring your left knee a little closer to the head. Use your right hand to pull the knee down towards the floor. We're still renewing the belt engagement every time we exhale. Now you may want to just stay here, or you can straighten your left leg out, extend it forward. We're still keeping the belt snug even though the hips are displaced. Adjust your left arm where it's comfortable. Turn your head to the left if you like. Every exhale, picture that belt coming around. Picture it coming around from the back and snugging across the hips and buckling beneath the belly button. And if your knee's down on the floor, same thing. Now if your leg is straight, you're going to bend the knee, release the head a little bit, and then bring both knees back into the chest. One hand on each knee, gently pull the knees in. Feel your lower back flatten. Inhale, move your knees out away from your chest. Feel the neutral spine. Relax the hips as much as you can. Pull in, lower back gently flattening. And move the knees away. Once again. And then one foot at a time down, and we go onto the stomach again. We're going to have the hands under the forehead. Legs about as wide as the mat. Engage the inner core. Feel that belt wrap across the hips. Pull your pubic bone towards your belly button. Knit your ribs in. And then lift everything up. Head, arms, chest, and both legs. And then release back down. And do that again. Set the whole inner core. Be sure you got a little tuck under your tail. Lift everything up. And lower back down. Now, if that is enough of a challenge, if it's too much of a challenge, keep your hands down on the floor and just raise the head without raising the hands. If you want more challenge, we're going to do jumping jacks. But if the jumping jacks are too hard, you can just repeat that exercise with the hands underneath the forehead. So if you want to do the jumping jacks, hands to the sacrum, legs together. Engage the inner core. We want to pull the pubic bone to the belly button. Knit the ribs together and lift everything up. And then as we inhale, arms and legs are going to go wide. The arms can sweep all the way up, or they can go under the forehead. And exhale, legs together, arms down to the sides. And again, open everything out wide, and then pull back and down. Keep your pubic bone connecting towards the belly button. One more time. And then everybody return to hands under forehead and relax. And we bring the hips to the heels in child's pose. And turn over onto your back. Starting in neutral, engaging the inner core. That's including the belt. Tilt the pelvis. Imprint the ribs. Lift your right foot. Take it to your left knee. And then cross the right foot all the way over. Your back is flat. Lift up your left foot and grab around the shin of the left leg if you can, or hold the right knee. We're going to relax the shoulders, stretch into the hip. We want to be even at the back of the pelvis, lower back flat, shoulders dropped, back of the neck long. And then lower the left foot down and uncross the right ankle. Bring the right foot down, relax in neutral. Stabilize, flatten the back, left ankle to right knee, and then slide the foot all the way over until the knees are crossed. Keep your back flat. Your pelvis should be down, not rock to the right side. And then lift both legs up. And hold around the right shin if you can, or hold the left knee. Relax the shoulders. Relax the belly. Slow breaths. left foot down to the floor. Relax in neutral. Engage the inner core, tilt the pelvis, knit and imprint. Keep the back flat, lift one foot up at a time. We're going to do the abdominal series in reverse with a flat back. So we'll start with the hands behind the head. Lower back is flattened, elbows are out wide for the crisscross. We're going to keep the back flat, lift the head. Keep the back flat as you bicycle and go into your crisscross. Make sure your belly button's scooping into your spine the whole time. Lower back flat. Keep your back flat and raise both legs straight up. Back is flat and we lower the legs down a little bit and come back up. Keep scooping the belly in. Lower down and keep scooping the belly in. Come back up. Flat back, lower and left. Keep the back flat as we go to the single straight leg. One leg up, one leg down. Back is flat the whole time. Keep scooping the belly button in. Bend both knees. Keep flattening the back. One hand on each knee. Double leg stretch. Push both legs away, arms wide, and come back around. Exhale, reach back with the arms, forward with the legs. Come back around. Keep scooping the belly. Make sure your back ribs stay down. Take your feet a little higher than usual. One more time. And then we're going to do the single straight leg. Back is flat. One knee bent, one knee straight. Belly scooping to the spine. Okay, both knees into the chest. Head down. Relax your neck. Keep your back flat. Lower one foot down. Keep your back flat. Lower the other foot down. Keep your back flat. Straighten one leg out. And keep your back flat. Straighten the other leg out. Keep your back flat. Reach the arms back behind you. Full or partial roll up. Scoop the belly in. And roll up. Keep your feet on the floor. Drop your shoulders. If you're not coming all the way up this time, just hover back and pull your belly into your spine. We will get you up into a stretch in a moment, but I want you to hover if you can't get all the way up. If you were all the way up, come part way down and hover. Scoop the belly in. Relax the shoulders. And everybody release back down. Keep your back flat. Stretch out long. I'm going to take a moment. Let your abdominals relax. And let's take a side bend. Walk the feet a little to the left. Walk the upper body a little to the left. Drop the right hip, the right shoulder. Hold your right wrist. Right ankle over the left. Keep dropping the right hip and right shoulder. Stretch there. And then to the center. And walk the feet to the right, the upper body to the right. Drop the left hip and left shoulder, ribs. Left ankle over the right. Hold the left wrist. Breathe into the left side. Keep dropping those left ribs down. And then back into the center. Reach long. And flatten the back, scoop the belly in. We're going to come all the way up, so if you like, you can use your hands on the outside of the thighs, scoop the belly in. Everybody fully up to a seated position. Reach down with your sit bones, pull back with your belly. Relax your shoulders. In fact, cross your hands over your chest at first, bend down. Bring your breastbone as far forward towards your feet as you can. Then just let your arms settle down at your sides. Breathe into the long stretch. Make sure the neck is relaxed. Remember, we want to concentrate on stretching the backs of the legs, the lower back, not overarching the upper back. So soften your shoulders and bring your breastbone towards your knees rather than trying to get your head down too low. Elbows should be bent. sit up tall, put the soles of the feet together, both sit bones reaching down, reach up through the crown, soften the shoulders, and take an easy forward bend. You can gently press down into the knees if you like, or hold the ankles. Or you can reach the arms forward, relax the neck. And then sit up, bring the knees close together, and really easy forward bend. Relax the forehead towards the knees, completely ease the shoulders. Just let the breath go up and down the back again. And then sit up tall. All right, that'll do it. So I hope you're feeling all organized and also a little stretched out. Enjoy this beautiful, cold, sunny day. Take good care. Thanks. Hey, Tracy.